Do you still remember what your very first time auditioning for Spark was like? Well, I'll remind you. It was way back in season 5. You walked into Ghibli Studios for the very first time. You barely knew the choreo. You definitely knew no one. And you'd never been to an audition in your life. You couldn't have been more stressed. And you asked yourself why you were there in the first place. You know, an old friend told you about the team years ago. And recently you watched a Boom video that moved you enough to at least give it a try. But what were you doing as a kid from Long Island auditioning for a city dance team with no experience, when what really should have been prioritized were your academics and other ECs? You thought about the Boom video and the alums that must have performed there, and you wonder how they ever did it. Thinking about it, your heart begins racing, and sitting against the wall, you're just waiting for someone to come through the door and call for you. But suddenly, you feel a tap on your shoulder, and there was this kid with black square-rimmed glasses and a bit of a bowl cut, and he asks you how auditions are going. You said, "Not good. I don't really know what I'm doing here." But he wished you luck anyway. And for a moment, you felt hope that maybe being here would mean something after all. He told you his name was Jay, and even though you wouldn't make it on the team that season, he would send you an update every following season to see if you're going to be auditioning again. You wonder if you ever would have tried again if it weren't for him. You know you needed to practice to not get rejected again. So the moment you see a legacy workshop open, you sign up. And as you're there, things seem to be going well, until they start filming, and you immediately forget the entire choreo. You remind yourself dance was something you enjoyed, but in that moment it just felt truly humiliating. And you think about that the whole subway ride back, until a distinct voice breaks your train of thought. You can tell it's one of Jay's friends. It was this blonde Korean girl who was impossibly full of energy. And you didn't really think too much of it, but as you were stepping off the train, you hear her call out, "Hey, I'll see you at Spark auditions, right?" Now that threw you off guard. Did she not see the performance you gave just 20 minutes earlier? You and her both knew you weren't remotely audition worthy, right? You hesitated, but finally you said, "Sure, I'll be there." And I'll always be grateful for that encouragement, because this next time, given a second chance, you would make it on season 6 of Project Spark. And I was beyond excited. I remember reading that acceptance email with more enthusiasm than literally some of my college acceptances. I couldn't believe the life I saw through a screen for what must have been years would be one I was about to experience myself. But soon enough, I'd find out that being on the team would come with its own anxieties. I was often stressed that being the only one from Long Island, I wouldn't really have the chance to connect with anyone, and end up going through this year much more alone than I expected. I took note of how each practice went, how I could do better as a member, and different ways I could start conversations with everyone. I just felt like I had to go the extra mile. But what I didn't know was that it would come a lot more naturally than I expected. I met another Warren Hugh fan, Kristen, and we both ended up going to his New York City tour. I got to know the Splur kids, taking the train home with them after every practice. I met Nat, who I got to know through hyperpop and photography, and Harrison, who sent me one of my favorite opening messages of all time. And things just sort of happened like that. Before I knew it, I got to know the team better. And just as I imagined, we were starting to cast, learn, and clean pieces, put a set together, and eventually went to go perform in competitions. And just, wow, the feeling of seeing other high school kids create this vision for a set, and seeing everyone work on it together, day after day, week after week, and see it done on stages I never thought I'd step foot on. There was a power to that I can't fully put into words.
T-minus 3 days until rain or shine!
T-minus 2 days till rain or shine. 1 hour till rain or shine. Project Spark on 3. 1, 2, 3, Project Spark!
And if you told all this to the version of me just a few months ago, I would have been over the moon. But the craziest part was, I had no idea how much more Spark had for me. There were other pockets of joy that I would have really never saw coming. Like Zay's Sweet 16. Don't tell my friends, but out of all the Sweet 16s I've been to, this was by far my favorite.
Happy birthday, Zay!
The Spark Picnic.
This has gotta be crazy. Shoot. It hurts to never know. Ali's just driving. She's driving the truck. Wow.
I can still taste the whipped cream. or performing at the Korean Sports Festival. Just walking into an arena and getting performer tickets still feels like a fever dream. Not to mention having it like all to ourselves after G-idle performed. But there were also the little things. When we had to sing the set when our adapter broke. Silly as hell Hell Week themes. Hannah feeding for dues.
I know your faces. I know your schools. I will find you.
Jay's voice cracks. Secret Santa with the Spur Kids. Cheering on other teams at comps. Visiting Laura at her Xing Fu Tang shift. Singing happy birthday to Rachel at Zaya. And far more.
Who's the hottest person in Spark, Jay?
Me.
You like it? How's it? I need my B-reel!
I honestly couldn't name them all if I tried. More than that, I ended up being thrown right into this New York City dance team that I didn't really know existed. More of my world started revolving around my excitement for dance, binging sets from competitions I'd never heard of, and learning about some of the coolest choreographers and teams this community had to offer. I've cheered on others harder than I knew I even could. And I learned how happy I could be watching my friends win. I took classes that I honestly think about to this day, and it must have been some point along the way, maybe when I stepped on the Illusion stage for the first time, when I saw myself center for a piece, or when I performed my first ever choreo in front of the team. It just felt like, for the first time, I could call myself a dancer. Thinking back, I could not imagine what my senior year would have been like without this team. I realized this at the end of season 6, when what I looked forward to most that December was the next season's learning day, just to be able to see all the members again.
Like, it just feels crazy to think back to a time where I thought I'd never be a part of this at all.
The anticipation and nerves, waiting backstage as the crowd cheers in the distance, the hours spent in the garage practicing,
The long nights for team dinners or random boba runs
for a long while, I felt like the things I spent my time doing
weren't productive or efficient enough.
but for the first time in a long time, I found an exception. The 2-hour-long practices, the hour-long commute, missing out on hangouts or studying, or rushing out of class to catch a train. It all just felt worth it. I remember standing with my hand in the air on our last chant at Sparkworks, and I thought, I really just did that. I want to thank everyone on the team for creating such an amazing environment, for being such a happy and silly bunch of people down to make good memories.
And even more so to the board, who did so much for us.
I can't even fathom having the time and energy for it all. And also, just for giving me a second chance at season 6 audition. Because of you guys, I feel like I've been able to be more kind, to want to push myself further,
And have bigger goals for myself.
The seniors that I'm leaving alongside with, you have dedicated your final year of high school to be dancing with this team. And I want you to know that no matter where you are or what you are doing in the next couple of years, I'm always ahead of you and rooting for you, and please don't stop dancing. I hope to see you at another competition, and even if you aren't with Spark, you'll always be a part of this team. In my eyes, we have the most perfect members, the perfect set, the perfect performance. And tonight, when you get out on stage, you need to perform like you're the best dancers in the world. Because in my eyes, you are, and you each are so unique and to your own. So let's end tonight off with a bang, and win or lose, I would never wish to be a part of another team. I will sadly not be continuing with Spark next season, but we still have so much time left to spend together. I love you all, and let's fucking eat the last competition of season 6.5 out. Let's go.
6, 7, 8, 6.5,
I remember it was one of our last practices, when Nat told me
She couldn't bear the thought of soon having to live a life without Spark.
to go through every day, not thinking about the next practice, seeing the members, or pushing through for the next comp.
to have this all end and over time
be forgotten. So I guess that's why I decided to make this video. I want to remember that no matter how many years down the line, there was a time when life exceeded all my expectations.
where I found a second family, a space to cheer for others without self-comparison,
To create something for myself,
to bring my friends little creative ideas to life, and to just be a part of something that felt so much bigger than just myself.
whatever team I end up being on next, or wherever I go in this dance journey. I hope that I won't feel discouraged by the new challenges, the new people, or the new community, because I know this past year has given me the strength to go through more than what I ever thought was possible.
For second place, give it up for Advent.
Because of every single member I got to know this year, my life has been changed for the better, and I hope they all know that. I wonder sometimes what the team will look like with so many of the seniors graduating this season, or maybe what new faces I'll come by. But in all honesty, I know the best of Spark is yet to come. This board, this team, no one's ready to see what Season 7 has to offer. Maybe one day, someone will audition for Spark, sitting in Gibney as nervous as I was, and ask me how it went, how it was being on this team. I hope with this video, I won't forget my answer. But until then, this is Matthew from Season 6 and 6.5. And truly, this team has all my love.
All I want, yeah, only love, yeah. All I say, yeah. All I want, yeah, only love, yeah. Yo.
Hey DJ, bust the tune and then pull it over. If your cup's empty, pull it over. Spread my love, cause we can't get enough. Baby girl, just start winding it up. If the party not nice, then me now go. Just jump to the bass and the piano. Live like a vacation in Kilago. Listen, listen.
Love y'all. I hope you guys. When are you gonna upload this? Like 10,000 years later?
Yes,
Where does
sir.
our boom and say off?